Hi, I'm Donna Davis, along with the famous Richard Cole, who knows everything about wild birds, and he is here to give you a little bit of advice during this hot summer. So welcome to the show.
Stay in the air conditioning.
Absolutely, that's good advice.
That's
You're
good
right,
advice,
it's been
yeah.
a really hot summer, and we've got some tips to help your birds get through the hot summer. And tell us what else is coming up on today's show.
We're going to do that. We're going to do a demonstration when we start talking about what food birds need while they're raising young and good food for the summertime. We'll mix up some right here on the set. And, bluebirds, how many broods most birds have in the United States. And we've mentioned bird baths and drinking water.
We're going to tell you all about some hints for your bird baths and how to keep the birds cool during summer, right?
Very important in the hot months.
Does it seem like this is like the hottest summer that we've had in a long time? It does to me.
It's been pretty hot, and I'm sure it has over most of the United States. So.
Yeah, it seems like record temperatures for June, because it seems like that June's usually pretty mild. August gets super hot, so I think we can expect a super hot July and August.
Maybe we'll get it over with now and it'll be cooler later.
Yeah,
maybe not.
Let's hope.
Maybe not.
Let's hope. But ananay, your birds do need a little extra TLC during the summertime. And what else do we got? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't know.
We're going to talk about the calendar.
We'll talk about the calendar right now.
Yep,
because that's important. You know, we request people send in their bird pictures from their yard, and we do a calendar, if you aren't familiar with it, once a year. And it's a very nice calendar, and a lot of people get a hold of this thing, because we feature the bird pictures that are sent in by our customers. And there's some really nice photographs in there. It looks so professional. And there's some fairly typical backyard photos we put in there. But it's a great calendar, and everybody's sending a lot of pictures this year. Our deadline is here now, so we've got all the pictures we're going to choose from, and we'll start that process in a week or so, and so we can have them all selected before we print the calendars to be ready for distribution by the end of this year.
Yeah, so stay tuned to our social media.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much.
We couldn't do this if they didn't send in their pictures.
Yeah, and these are such beautiful calendars. It's really on nice paper. It's a high quality, and the pictures are always beautiful. And so we want you to stay tuned to Facebook, because all the people at Kohl's, those dedicated people, are having to look through those pictures and decide the semifinalists, and then we put those out on the Facebook page. So stay tuned to see if your picture made it to the semifinals.
Yeah, that's a really tough job choosing these pictures, because they're all great.
Yeah.
They're all great. So thanks again, everybody. We appreciate it. Your calendar will be out soon.
Yeah, so now let's talk about what we can do in this really hot summer to help the birds.
Well, fortunately, the birds don't need as much help as we think. Their ambient body temperature tends to run much higher than ours. We're roughly 98, 97. And so anything in that range or close to that range, or Lord help us, above that range, is very hot to us. Their normal body temperatures run from about 102 to 109 in that range. So much higher than ours. So an 85 and 90 degree day isn't that bad for them. So they still have to add heat to get to their body temperature.
And it's amazing how they do so well in the summer, and then with the extreme winter temperatures too.
Yeah, how do they maintain that high body temperature when it's 25 degrees outside?
Yeah,
they eat a lot of food, and they produce energy quickly.
Yes.
And,
so let's talk about how we can help them.
Well, they got to stay cool. Either way. I mean, they have to cool down. And so you'll see the birds take to the shade. So if you've got a shady area, they'll be using the shade, and they'll come out into the sun when they have to, but they'll seek the shade. And then so important to them is that they have fresh drinking water and nice bathing water. It could be the same, as long as you don't let it get too dirty. And as long as they can get there and cool down in the bath and keep their feathers clean in the bath and drink that water, they'll do okay. So I recommend that if you have a bird bath, and I think I've mentioned this before, is I drive around through neighborhoods and I see a bird bath on a pedestal out in the middle of a yard in full sun, and it's usually a deep bird bath. That's really not the best way to go.
And this is actually your bird bath from home.
Yes, that's one of them, and it's in the shade.
Right.
It gets
and
a
it
little
has
morning
cover.
sun. And it's very shallow in a way. It's probably 1.5 inches deep in the middle.
Yeah.
And you say, well, it'll dry out too quick. Well, you need to add water more often anyhow. So
Right.
the biggest thing I can recommend on a bird bath is put the bird bath close to your water faucet so that you can take the hose and rinse it out real quick, fill it up every day.
Right.
And it's so easy if you just get in that habit. Just walk around beside the house, take the hose, walk 2 or 3 feet, spray it, dribble some water into it, hang up the hose and go. 5 minutes, you're done. And they have clean water all the time for drinking and bathing.
And it is so cute to watch
Yeah.
them. And I have funny story.
Yeah.
I got a fountain for the birds because Richard talks all the time about how you need to supply water for the birds. Even in the winter, they need to
absolutely.
clean their feathers, and it actually does help them stay warm to be able to clean those feathers. But so I got a beautiful little fountain bird bath. And then my birds weren't coming. And then Richard said, be patient. They will come to you. And then after a while, I said, they're still not coming. And he says, well, maybe you should move it. So we never ended up moving it. And literally for 4 years, they finally started coming. So now it's popular. It's as if one of them used it and the rest of them were like, oh, that's what that's
it's for. Yeah.
But you say, don't leave it for 4 years. Do not do like Donna did. Go ahead, if it's not attracting birds after a while, change the placement of it.
Yeah, I would probably change it before 4 years ran out.
Right.
Yeah, just,
Right.
you know, if it, something goes, I tell people with birdhouses, if you go a year, maybe 2 years, and the birds haven't taken it, just move it to another place, put it on a different tree, put it on the side of the house, do something different because it's just not a great location. Although it may take 4 years and somebody finds this, that one's for me. But the the bird bath, absolutely put it where you can get a hose to it without any trouble. I even have, next to my bird bath, a hose that I keep just for it. It's, I think, maybe 12 foot long. It's no hose, I cut the whole end of it off. So
Yeah.
it's not in a way, it's not a lot of trouble. It's just laying there, and I can get right to the bird bath with it.
And you're right. If you don't make it where it's not a lot of trouble,
Yeah.
you won't
do
do
it.
it. And that's probably why it took us 4 years. We left it up on our deck. So I don't think the birds were as comfortable to come to the deck. We didn't have cover like what you're talking about. But now that they've started to come, it's great because we can see them.
Yes.
And it's just beautiful to see them out there. But they still don't come while we're outside.
Yeah.
But we can watch them from our kitchen window, and it's so cute. So definitely get a
Yeah.
source for them. And does the water need to be like we saw in the one photo? It was moving, but your bird bath, it's not, right?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't need to move.
They don't
It's
care,
nice
huh?
if you've got one of those because the little gurgling sound is an attraction to the birds.
Mm-hmm.
They hear that like a little babbling brook. That will help bring a bird around to check it out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they like that noise, but it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
In my case, I have some babbling water close by, so it's perfectly good. And a regular bird bath, they'll get in there, they'll find it, and they'll use it.
And how many do you have around the house?
2.
Oh, okay.
Not a lot.
So two.
Not a
Yeah.
lot.
But that's as many as you need,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you could put more out if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But I just say, find a good spot. If the birds don't take to it after a little less than 4 years, move it to another location, especially if you can service
Yeah.
it every day.
Right.
And that's more
what's so
important.
important. Right.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about what you could feed the birds during these hot days of summer when they are trying to feed
Yeah.
their babies. They are so busy with nesting. What are some good foods for them?
Well, I like to think that suet, is great. And suet kibbles, which is one of our products, they're a little pelletized food that has high energy in it, and pure suet and suet cakes, and also pure sunflower meats are great because it becomes a great insect substitute.
And what type of birds like these suet kibbles? What might we
I
attract with
have
the suet
not
kibble?
found a bird that won't eat them.
Doesn't like it? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
because it's like a handy little snack food. It's nothing. It's not like a hard shell that some birds can't crack open. It's just food, and they start eating it. And it's like they like it. So
Yeah.
it's easy to serve and it's easy for them to eat, and so a lot of birds are attracted to it. There's a lot of other seeds. Hard shell sunflower seeds, fine for a lot of birds, especially the birds with larger beaks who can crack it. And if you don't want to feed just pure sunflower meats, of course, everything likes pure sunflower meats. 'Cause
Oh, yeah.
there's no
Easy to
hassle.
eat, yeah.
It's easy to eat.
No cracking open the shell, you
right.
just eat it.
But it's important in the summertime to just have the food available all the time. Just like in the winter, these guys don't have a lot of time. They've got to find a lot of insects and all to feed their young, and they can just grab a bite and get back to the nest, and they'll be fine. You can almost just feed the same thing you do winter and summer, but I like to add some extra things in the summertime.
Yeah, so let's see some video of the birds nesting. We all know what birds nesting looks like, but it's so cute. Look at those hungry mouths. So we have to think during the summer, we're not just feeding mom and dad, we're feeding these little guys.
Yes.
Mouths open all the time.
Yes, and they grow up so fast. They've got to get enough energy to go from egg size to flying size in roughly 6 or 7 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's for most small birds. That's incredible.
And the demand on mom and dad to just go and bring them
constantly.
food, bring them food, bring them food. You know,
All they can do all day
mouths to feed.
long is find food, get it to the young.
Yeah.
That's their job, and they can't stop.
Yeah.
So they
Those
seem to
little
like
babies
it.
are hungry. That's such
And they're some
cute.
cute little
Oh,
bluebird
look at
babies.
that. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, isn't that cute?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think bluebirds are always so much fun.
Yeah. And they're easy. Just put out your bluebird boxes, put 1 or 2 out in your property, in
Yeah.
a sunny location on a post, and you'll get some bluebirds probably.
So, do you want to show us your little concoction that you brought today?
Should we do that?
Yeah,
Let's do
and
that.
it's great. It's not only good for the bluebirds, right? But it keeps the squirrels away from your food.
Yeah, this is something I just started doing because I have this impulse to not just put out just the one thing. It's like we like to mix things up.
Yeah.
And I started feeding this little mixture to my birds early this year. It's like they all really like it.
Do they see you coming with this and come outside and be like, we're ready to eat?
I never let it get empty, so no, there's always
Yeah.
something there. So I'm just going to tell you, here's
The suet kibble.
some suet kibbles right here. Another one of the wonderful Coles products.
Easy to open.
Easy to
I love
open.
the packaging.
Yeah. And we're going to add some of this.
It looks
we
like
go.
Play-Doh to me.
It does.
Remember Play-Doh?
Oh, yeah. You want to try one?
No. I bet you tried it though.
Of course I have. Okay, now, some good stuff.
Some yummy mealworms.
Oh.
What I like about these is they're not live. Alive.
No, they're not live. They're dried and smells like kind of like nice nutty aroma. You sure you don't want some? Okay.
Positive.
So we're going to add some of these, and I'm going to go for about what amount to about a quart,
But they're birds
product
love them, right?
roughly half and half by volume. And I'm going to leave enough room at the top of whatever container I use to be able to shake
Yeah.
very well. Okay. Now,
Isn't that pretty?
yeah, it's pretty. I'm going to add something else.
Oh, you don't shake that up
I
first?
could, it
Okay.
doesn't matter.
Okay. We'll shake it up
Now-
all at the same time.
This is Cole's Flaming Squirrel Seed Sauce.
So
It's
any
really good
type
stuff.
of food that Kohl's makes, you can buy it hot or you can make it hot.
Yes, you can make it hot.
Yeah.
We won't go into why you would want the birdseed to taste hot to mammals, like squirrels,
Right.
but there's a good reason for it.
So they don't
And birds-
devour your food.
Birds don't have the sensors to pick up the heat.
And
these
isn't
things.
I don't know that this is true, but is it because they really spread that chili seed?
I don't know. That's a theory.
We never know.
That the birds
just
can
know
eat the
they
chili
can.
peppers,
Right.
and get the seeds in them and drop the seeds everywhere, and it spreads the chili pepper plant.
Nature has a way of doing these kind
It
of
works for
amazing
them.
things.
Now,
Yeah.
this is shaken well, and I don't put about a jigger. Everybody's got a jigger. I don't know
Yeah.
what you use these for, but
I have no idea. To tell you how much flaming squirrel seed sauce you need?
that's what you need a jigger for. And we're going to set that down very carefully. We're going to put the cap on it.
Richard's making cocktails on the show today. Bird cocktails.
And we will put the cap on really well.
Happy hour at 5.
Woo! And we're just going to pour this in here.
Be careful not to touch it. If you do touch it, wash your hands good.
I am a trained professional.
Not a drop, right, Richard?
Let's hope not.
All right, let's put this here. Here we go.
And that's the reason I leave a little room at the top.
Yeah. Mix it all up.
And probably you could do this hour or so before you really need it.
Okay.
And I'll get it partially mixed and then let it sit. And what will happen is
And all drains down.
the soy oil and the capsaicin from the chili peppers will start absorbing into the suet kibbles and getting all in the crevices and all of the dried mealworms. Now, who wouldn't eat this? I mean, this is really good stuff.
Are you leaving it here for my bluebirds today?
Oh, of
No,
course.
you're taking it home. I know you'll take it home.
But see, that was very easy. I haven't really touched it.
Yeah.
I will take this, typically if I'm at home, I'll just take this and rinse it very carefully in the sink, wipe it out with a paper towel, clean it up good, and I'm good. But then I don't have to touch this. I can uncap it, go pour some in one of the Coles bowl feeders, the Bountiful bowl. I love them. And just put a little handful in there, and I just go out there and replenish it as fast as I eat it.
Now, how much do you put out at a time? Will you put all of this
Oh,
in?
no, I just put like would be
Oh, okay.
a little bit in the,
amount.
just what would be nice in the bowl.
Yeah.
And let them eat when I see that get low. I would say you'd probably put maybe 2 cups worth into the bowl, maybe.
Yeah. And how long will that last in your backyard, which I know your backyard is popular?
It's 2 cups out there would last probably 1 day,
Yeah?
maybe.
Wow.
Depends on the day. If they're really hitting it, they will go through it. They'll go through twice that much in a day.
So they really need a lot of energy.
Yeah,
Wow.
and this is good. There's a lot of vitamin A, a lot of other vitamins in the oils. And the oil is very important also in this mixture because there's a high energy source right there. And good vitamin A and everything else. And it's just, they get the suet kibbles and they get the worms and the vitamins and minerals in the worms. So, and it's kind of fun. I feel like I've made something special for them.
Absolutely. Not just run of the mill, but you've really done something special. So
hot worms and suet kibbles.
You know, and this is so great. And Cole's really kind of pioneered this whole technology with that heat, right?
Yeah, we kind of made it popular, yes, we did.
Yeah.
And,
so I'm going to tell you, like, we are battling, those of us who love to feed the birds are always battling these squirrels. And this is so funny story. So we store our bird seed in these big, like cans, like aluminum cans with a lid that goes down on everything. Squirrels so determined to get at that food, and this was not hot food, right? It might have been sunflower meats. One morning we found an entire, like the barrel had been taken and down, you know, like pushed way out into the yard. Like you couldn't believe a squirrel did this. And maybe it's not, maybe it's a raccoon or something. But anyway, they couldn't get the lid off. But that's pretty determined. They were just literally physically taking it from our, you know, patio and pushing it way out into the yard where I guess they thought, you know, they'd get the lid off eventually.
Yeah. Squirrels and other animals can be very determined when it comes to trying to get your bird seed.
Oh, yeah. And now we put always hot, you know, I think it's one of your blends that we use the hot blend out on the feeder. That's another great one, the hot meats that they love it. And the meats are so good. But anyway, they love this blend. But instead, now we buy the hot. And so we have it in our feeder that's out off the deck. So we have a little pole that goes out. Those squirrels were stretching all the way out there. Like no matter what, they would not leave that feeder alone.
Yeah.
And you see what little gymnasts they are. They're amazing.
Yeah, they can get to your food. And that's one of the reasons I add this to the suet kibbles and worms when I put them out. Because I put them in, like I said, the Coles Bountiful Bowl, hang it right there on my deck. Anybody can get to it. But only the birds get to it. And it's great. I look right at my kitchen window into the back deck and see the birds coming and going all day long, feeding from it, uninterrupted by furry critters.
Yeah, it's just so cute how determined. Now, we put some, Cole's also makes critter munchies, right? So
Yes.
we like to feed the squirrels too. Made the mistake of leaving a bag on just outside on our deck. You know, they were all the way up on the deck, pulling it
Yeah.
out and everything.
Yeah.
It's so cute.
Yeah. Critter munchies was something we came up with some years ago. Just for, hey, let's feed the squirrels
Right.
and the rabbits, anybody else that comes along.
We were feeding
munch around on
geese
the
for a
ground, so,
while. Yeah. Yeah,
We
but
made-
critter munchies are great.
Yeah, it's a good high quality trail mix for the critters. So.
Yeah, yeah, but they will come and take us just a huge amount. You got to keep that stuff like locked up too. But anyway, just to summarize today, so don't forget about the water, right?
That's right.
Got it? And make
Especially
sure
when
those
it's
bird
so
baths,
hot. Yeah.
right? Bird baths are shallow. They are near cover, correct?
Yes.
And that they, what else do we
Bird
need
bath
to know?
in the shade, near cover.
In the shade, and you said
And-
like no hawk or anything can get in it except for one direction there, right?
Right, that gives the birds, if something's coming in,
Yeah.
they're going to be sort
They
of
see
facing
it.
where it's coming in. They can get flushed back into the bush
Mm-hmm.
and have a much better chance at surviving. And,
Yeah.
And it might not even be seen down there, and I think that feels more comfortable to them. And that bath right
Yeah.
there is my most used bath.
Oh,
So-
yeah. And then keep the hose nearby, because if the hose isn't near, you won't be changing out the water enough for them. So that's how we're going to keep them hydrated and healthy during the
Yes.
summer. And then you say, you know, this is the best thing. This is a great mixture for your bluebirds, all kinds of great food.
It's a great little add-on, yeah, just a little snack
Yeah.
for them out there. And it's something that'll add extra. You can also feed the other feeds that you normally feed, but this is a little extra treat
Extra
for them.
treat,
You'll find
yeah.
they go to it a lot.
Yeah, and it's so much fun to feed the bluebirds. And you mentioned that the broods that bluebirds will have,
Yep.
many more if they stay, right? And than if they migrate, right?
Yeah, birds that tend to migrate from North America down to South America tend to only have one brood a year. And they say, well, because it takes them a long time to get here and a long time to get back, so their season is shorter, especially the ones that tend to live further north and up into Canada. They don't have a longer season, so they have to hurry to get in one brood. As you get further south into the United States, and you're closer to where they're going to migrate to, they might do two, but most of them still only do one. But the birds that are year-round residents here, your chickadees, titmice, nuthatches, bluebirds, et cetera, will have more than one or two, typically in the range of 2 to 4 broods a year.
Wow.
And obviously, I like to call it 2.75 because I've watched how many broods my bluebirds pull off, and sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 3.
It is
I
really
saw
fun to
one
watch.
Brood 4 times. They pulled off 4 broods in a year, but that was a long time ago.
Yeah, and I love to see them bringing the babies to the feeder. They're coming over, showing them how to use it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
cute. It's really fun.
And we have to fill up the feeders more often.
Right.
That's
So
okay.
just keep that food in there, keep a water source, and give them a treat every now and then. Make sure that you're using the hot stuff if you're having problems with squirrels,
Sure,
which
yeah.
almost everybody does. And
Who
thanks so
doesn't, yeah.
much for all your pictures, and
Yes.
stay tuned to our social media so that you can find out our semifinalists. Anything else, Richard?
I can't wait till the new calendars.
I know.
Yeah,
Every year
they're
I
bigger
have one
soon,
upstairs.
yeah.
I love the calendar. It's the best way in the world to see the seasons.
Yeah.
It really is. And so appreciative to those of you who send in your photographs because they are just absolutely gorgeous. So thanks for joining us.
Yep.
Richard is
Thank you.
here every first Wednesday of the month at 3 o'clock, and we'll see you next time.
Hello, this is Richard Cole. I want to thank each of you for watching, and I want you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to share it.